So copy activity metadata. So we should first understand the logic of metadata. What do you mean by metadata? So if you search in a Google or anywhere, this will say that data about data. Okay. And the first time when you hear it looks very, uh, awkward that what is the meaning of data about? So basically, if you having any data, imagine you have a data stored in any table format or Excel format or whatever. The data is nothing but an information, right? So this data is what? This data is your, for example, this data is having some, customer data like customer, we have some product, whatever it is, right? Product, and you have some other piece of information, right? What is the vendor, what is the date of shipment, order details, revenue, sales, growth, whatever it is, right? So this is a one set of data. Now this data is having some piece of information also. What kind of information? So the metadata for this data will be like this. Like what kind of data it is? It is categorized as a customer data, right? Then what is the size of the data, you can say, the technical name of this table, structure of this table, type of the table. So some data which explain you the entire information related to this. So this is a metadata. So sometime this metadata will be important to us in some cases, right? So while doing a copy activity, we have an option to create the metadata, because for example, this is the data you have customer, you have product, you have other columns as well, like sales column, vendor column, batch number, shipment column, delivery date, total revenue. So these are the columns. This is nothing but a data. So you are moving this data obviously from source to sink. But while moving the sink, you want to add some more information. The more information like data factory pipeline. Okay. Or you can say data load date, correct? Or you can say you want any kind of information like file path, okay, from where this file has. So these informations you want to generate, which will be useful to track this file, right? And this will not be generated as an additional column. So few days back we discussed about additional column. So additional column is basically adding the data, the additional column here in the data set, right? But this will not add any additional column, but this will store this piece of information, okay, at some different places, but it will not be visible to you in the additional column, right? So we can see this option of metadata. Now to see that, we can consider any of the pipeline. Let's create a new pipeline and we can give this option of PL underscore. First of all, let's see if I can use any existing pipeline to explain you. So let's go to sales data. If I go to sync, right? So you can see this option as a metadata, right? If you put a hover on this, it will say specify the custom metadata with metadata keys and values, right? So we can create any kind of metadata by ourselves. This is known as custom metadata, and we have to specify the keys and the value against that, what we are going to say. Okay. So I'm going to produce the similar kind of exercise like PL underscore. I can use like metadata, because I'm checking the option of metadata. So I just drag and drop the copy activity. I can go to source. I can create a new input data set, and I can use this Azure Data Lake storage account Gen 2. I can hit on OK. And what I will do, I will use CSV file. Okay. Because binary will not give me that option. Okay. So ds underscore, I can use metadata inputs, and I can browse my file. So let's go from PBI input, select any file. I'm going to select this sales one CSV file. Okay. And obviously the first option will be selected from import from connection store because I have selected a file. So structure will be stored using this connection, right? And first row is a header. So I will hit on OK. Here it's fine. The first radio button should be selected because I selected the file. So we are not using any wildcard, not providing any list because only one list is there. So here we are okay. So this additional column was earlier we discussed, that is adding the column in the data set. This is also creating the column, but it is not adding in the data set. Okay. Later on you will realize. So we'll go to sync. We will create a sync data set. I will choose this Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2 and I will again select the CSV. I will hit on OK and I'm going to give a proper name which will say that metadata output. Okay, and I'm going to select the link services and I'm going to give anything like let's generate in the output folder. Okay, and I'm going to click on OK. And if you want to give any name, you can. Otherwise, it will produce with the same sales file name. So let's give the sales metadata, something like that. Okay. And this time I'm not going to import, but I'm using this none because I'm not importing the structure. It is automatically generated on the fly. And obviously while doing a sync property, we used to select this none operations. Okay. So I will hit on OK. And every time we are, okay, this is disabled because we are choosing CSV file only. So that's why it will automatically generate CSV file. Now, and one thing about the copy behavior, if you are not selecting anything, by default it will go with preserve hierarchy. Okay, so I will head on metadata option. Let me hide this so that I can have more space. So now it is asking for some values. Okay, fine. So you can click on value first and see what options are coming in the dynamic. So if you go to system variable, if you want to, store the name of data factory or pipeline name, so I can hit on this pipeline name. You can see @ pipeline name, right? I can hit on OK, and here I can write pipeline name, right? I can add another one, and here I can select some other element. Like for example, I want to create, the load date. So what I will do, I will hit go into date function. I will select UTC now. So what it will do, it will, it will go for creation date. You can say creation date. Okay. And very interesting. I want to, I am in the local time, which is nothing but UTC -5, for example. Okay. I'm into that time zone. Okay, and if you are working in India, you are actually UTC plus 5 zone. Okay, something like that. 5.5 are your before than UTC. So if you want to go for a system time. Okay, what you will do? If I am going with my time, I will subtract 5 hours from UTC now, right? So what I am going to do, I am going inside the function. I will use a date function, and instead of because I have to use from UTC now, I have to subtract -5 or +5, right? Okay. So what I should do, I should use this add hours. So I will go to the leftmost part. I will hit on add hours. Okay, now this bracket has started, so I will have to, move this bracket from here to here, right? So what I will do, I will remove this bracket. Okay, and I will move the bracket here. Okay, and here I should give a comma. Okay, and because I have to add hours. So how many hours we want to add? If you put your cursor here, it will show you the concept. It is showing that if you're using this add hour, there should be a timestamp, and this is timestamp. UTC now is nothing but a timestamp, and you have to give hours and number. Hours, like if you have to give this hours 5, okay, so you have to give this number, okay, and that's it. So what I'm going to do, I'm keeping 5, okay, -5 for my time zone, okay. So it will subtract 5 hours from UTC now, okay, if I want to convert my time zone. And because it is showing error, the reason why it is showing error, because if you see the spelling here, this H is capital. So one way is either you make it by yourself, or you can hit here. This icon will appear. If you click on this icon, this will rename to your this one, or you can manually type capital H also, right? So this is now corrected. Okay. So this is done. If you want to, create another column saying that IST time zone, right? So what you will do, you will again go to dynamic content, again go to function, again go to date and function, and do the same exercise once again. UTC now. Okay, I did it 2 times. So let's do it once again. If you click 2 times, the 2 time it will appear. Okay. So what I will do, I will again use this hours, or you can use minutes actually, because 5.5 hours will be how much minutes? Okay, if I use this 5.5, right, and if I multiply this 5.5, okay, with 60, then it will be 330 seconds, right? Agreed. So instead of hours, what I should use? Minutes. Sorry, not second, it's minutes. 330 minutes. So what I will do, I will add 330 minutes to convert this to India time. Guys, are you understanding it? Okay. So I will rename into add minutes. So this is very interesting concept. Okay. So far what we have done, we have created the, with the help of dynamic content, we have used some system variable, we have created the expression, right? And what we are going to do is we can go here and go for import schema. So imagine when you go to import schema, you would realize, you can check, right? Are you able to see any column which we have added here? No, right? Because I told you this will not add any column. This will create the metadata which will be stored, in a different location, in a technical info, as a technical information it will be stored. Okay. So you will say how we can see the data. I will let you know how you can see the data. Okay. So what you can do is you can now debug this once again, and let's wait for this to be completed. You can refresh this and it will take some time to start. So this has succeeded now. Now, because this has succeeded, so we can check our output container. This is the output container we have used, and I can see this is the file which we have generated, right? Sales metadata. Okay. So if you hit on this file, if you go to edit, you can see there's a no addition of those columns which we have done, because this is not an addition column, right? So where you can see this, you have to go to overview, and if you scroll down, you will see all these information, right? For example, what is the creation date? Okay, so you can see, because in UTC the creation date is 17th December, so it has come, but in India it is again 17 December. This is the pipeline, but at my location, it is 16th December. Got it? So this piece of information is stored as a metadata. Okay. So why this is required? Because at some instances, at some yeah, cases, the metadata has to be stored. Okay. So this has completed the exercise of copy activity metadata. Okay.